Now, with the documentary, The Girl from Nutbush, it gives us a great opportunity to look chronologically along your life. And what does emerge is the fact that you seem to have been a bit of a dreamer all your life. So when you were in the cotton fields, what were you dreaming of at that stage?
Getting out of the cotton fields. I didn't like the sun. I didn't like the work. It was very hard for a young girl when I didn't really know how to do it. You see, I was very young at the time. And the adults were sort of going along, and in the cotton fields, you have to keep up, you see, or else you get rows and rows and rows behind, and you need to be with everybody so that the energy of the conversation is being carried on. And once you get behind, you lose everything. You feel like and then you start to dream. And then you're standing on the hoe, and then your father's screaming, "Get off the hoe!" And, oh, good, fine. Oh, duck, duck, duck. I really didn't like it. But the dream was, I didn't know about Hollywood and all of that then. I just knew that I wanted to be a movie star. So I was already a singer. I was already singing in church, so that was secondary. I just kept thinking movie star.
But obviously the dream started to come through, albeit it went sour for a number of years. But when you were living that horrendous life with Ike, what was your dream then? Was it, again, to escape?
In the beginning, I think I was learning stage work, and there was a lot that I took from the public, I think, in some strange kind of way, in terms of trying to get the people. I would get lost in my work, I think, lost from the reality of my life off stage, with learning how to work an audience and learning what would get people to react. And I think some kind of way it all started second half of my life, where I had to start to think, well, this is not what I really want to do. I don't really want to sing these songs or do this or whatever I was doing. And I started to dream about what I would like to do at that point, which is basically what I'm doing now.
So was life really like being in prison during the latter end of your marriage to him?
Yes. Well, it was always a bit like that, because Ike was a very insecure man and very possessive, and everything was, just locked in and surrounding him and how he wanted it. And everyone around just kind of did as he asked or as they were told, and nobody really thought about it that much. But really thinking about it, it was a form of imprisonment. You weren't allowed to do, and if you did, it was a lot of violence.
Well, it's been well documented, of course, yes, about the fact that you just walked out and left him. Mm-hmm. So when you started on that road to superstardom and eventually made it, of course, how did you feel then, the realization that this was the dream coming true?
That was actually when I had been invited to do some work with some of the rock singers, and I'd forgotten how it was in the rock halls. And I thought, well, I want to leave the hotels and the conventions. I want to get back into rock music.
And, of course, we've seen so many of those famous duets over the years as well.
Oh, gosh, yes. That really made the dream come true.
David Bowie, Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
There's real raw sex on stage when you perform with Mick Jagger. Why do you think the chemistry was just so good there?
I don't know. If you speak of Bryan Adams, David Bowie, Mick, the men that I work with, they were my heroes. They still are my heroes. And we have something in common that I think is not verbal. It's just something visual that we have, and we can play and laugh about it right there because we're sharing it. And because it's between us, the people get it somehow. It's something very natural. We don't have a problem with ourselves. It's accepted. We accept each other. So when we're there, we enjoy the moment.